Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Town TV. It is Cape Rugby time, live on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock now. It's taken us a while to get here, but now we are live. So we'll be looking for your feeds on Facebook, on Twitter, on SMS, etc. This time we can speak to you directly while you're watching TV. Of course, it's been an interesting week of results, fixtures and logs, and we'll be taking a look at that in a second. And speaking to Thistles this evening about the history of their club. We'll speak to Adil Abbas about the development and the youth structures at Manenberg Rangers. And we'll give you a chance to win those prizes courtesy of Evox Advanced Nutrition and the Leisure Group Hotels. My guests this evening, Herman Abrams, the Deputy CEO of Western Province Rugby. Hello, Hermy.
Good evening, JP, and good evening all those cold Cape Townians.
Nice to have you. Yeah?
Yeah, it's always nice to be here.
Lovely. Marvin, nice playing there at Durban. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much, JP. Thank you.
And Harold Moses, all the way down from the West Coast.
Yeah, JP, very nice to be here. Absolute pleasure to represent Hamlets on Cape Town TV.
Ja, hoe lyk die snoek daar op die Weskus?
Die snoek loop. Die vis is volop op die Weskus. Bietjie koud, maar die vis loop.
Well, folks, of course, I went out this weekend to go and watch the match between Tygerberg and NNK. That was a fantastic match. But there were some other interesting results, of course, over the weekend as well. Let's take a look at Super League A. The big one there over the weekend was UCT against Villagers, 55 points to 20.
So it was expected.
Yeah.
We said last week they should win it. So.
But UCT, of course, I mean, Marvin, UCT come directly out of the, out of the varsity challenge now. I mean, they've probably got that out of their system already. But still, I mean, they would have kept the same team together.
Definitely. Still playing as champs and definitely want to show that they are the best in Cape Town, in the Western Cape. Definitely giving Marties a challenge for a run for their money right now.
Yeah, certainly people are still talking that language. Marties, can anyone catch them, hold them in? But it's going to be interesting to see as we get closer to the season. But staying in your neck of the woods then, SK Warmers, a nice win for them over Helderberg.
Oh, definitely. They are really a team that's really building up good past few games. I mean, they're a team that they play nice running, flowing rugby.
Yeah.
They will expose your weakness very quickly. So definitely you could see by the score, I mean 40-18, definitely exposed Helderberg.
Do you think that in club rugby, we've spoken about this a few times actually in terms of, Western Province is the old style of running rugby. Do you think club rugby, we still retain some running rugby? It's a little bit more like jy weet nie waar die haas gaan opspring type rugby, yeah?
No, definitely. And it makes a club rugby even just so much more exciting as well. I mean, you're getting away from that old school stump car rugby.
Yes.
Now the teams are throwing the ball out wide. They're making use of each facet of the game. Trying to play to their strong points and exposing other teams' weak points.
Harold, would you agree with that? I mean, tell me more about the style of rugby that Hamlets is playing up in the West Coast.
Well, JP with Gavin Parsons back at the club, helping with the coaching, we have definitely taken on the more running style of rugby because Gavin being a backline player and obviously a natural and skillful player, we have adopted the more running style of rugby. Although we do have a good set of forwards, but it's a more 15-man type of rugby.
Ja, Mr. Ek sal nooit vergeet dat die eendag wat Louis de Villiers van Rapport vir my gesê het, Brighton Pulse. Hy is soos 'n stuk seep in die bad. Jy weet waar hy is, maar jy kan hom nie in die hande kry nie. Folks, I had an absolutely fantastic time this weekend. Took my little video camera out to a local game, which goes to show just how easy it is. Of course, we're working on getting more footage from you, the fans out there, and we're working on getting our Cape Town TV crew out to some of the games, all in good time. But I took my little camera out, and just to show you just how easy it is, I went to watch the game between Tygerberg and NNK in Ravensmead over the weekend at Florida Park. And what a fantastic occasion and a great bit of running rugby. We'll bring you some snapshots. Take a look at this.
exciting game. SLB, probably one of the most exciting times you can get as well. Yeah, you got to be at the top of your game as well. So, but enjoyable, always enjoyable. Tygerberg's always got an insane crowd. Lovely to ref here.
It could have been the other side. So we won 25-24. So I'm thankful for that. I wanted a bonus point, and we didn't get it. Well, they did well.
Ja, dit was 'n baie tough game geweest. Maar my man het dit getrek. They're very good side.
Ja.
But Tiger was the best. Ons nummer 8.
Ja.
Ik denk hij moet een keer een kans in die WP.
Ja.
Dus hij is die van, hij komt van Griekers. En ik denk Rera, hij is er in ons pak.
What is your profession?
Ja, nee, wat? Ons het hier gekomen om net zomaar te komen winnen. Ons het geweet waar ons is ingeland. Ons kon het deurgedrukt, maar weens klein foutjes. Maar dat is deel van de rugby. Ongelooflijke rugby op de oomlik in. En we spelen als een span samen. Ons is bij elkaar spannetje, als one team, one family.
This league, it's tough. Everybody wants to get out of here, back to the Super League. And I can say that NNK, we're busy with the rebuild process, but we're well on our way. We're well on our way. And all due to Tygerberg. They played, they were behind, we were behind, they came back, we came back. And I always knew it was going to be a tough game. But for us to get a bonus point on a away game, it means the world to me, because I know we got seven home games in the second round. You're coming to us all the way, and it's not going to be easy on paddle. That's for sure. Win or lose, we will maintain this spirit.
Die game gaan nie net oor wen die skeieregters, punten. Ek weet dit was 'n tough game vir jou om te hanteer. Maar wel gedaan.
We win and you lose some, and so as you say, rugby gaan nie alles wil wen nie. Dit gaan oor die samesyn na die tyd, en bande bou en vriende bou, samesyn, and what we get out of it and the people we meet. Referees, thanks very much. Dankie vir die geselligheid hier, ons waardeer dit. Ons sien uit om julle te onthaal aan die ander kant. And the season's only what third of the way gone, so it's a long way left. Sterkte vir julle, klop hier alles spanne dat ek het ons mekaar uitsorteer die volgende dag. Thank you very much.
En JP, wat is die ding op te sê, julle doen dan is 'n werk by die tafel. Ja, ek
You would have seen there the footage then between Tygerberg and NNK. We must just apologise for some of the sound quality there, but I think you pretty much get the gist of it. Mr. H, what a fantastic environment though. I know it was a close game, 25-24 between NNK and Tygerberg. It was literally down to the last minute. You know, as many other games go, but the atmosphere was something spectacular.
It was fantastic, and that is what people are coming to rugby for, and to pay to see good rugby, good atmosphere, and a brilliant game.
Yeah, yeah. But what really impressed me was, and I mean we can get more into the rugby now in a second, was not just actually during the game. And I mean after the game we spoke to the referee there, Quinton Immelman, who did a fantastic job on the day. But was, you know, and as we expect players to shake hands after that, but it was the fact that there was this post-match function where the chairman and the president of each club was there to say thanks to the other club. You know, nice to have you here. We look forward to having you back the next time. Is this a union initiative, or is it just something?
I think, you know, earlier in the years, just after Unity, the late Ben Groepies wrote sort of a booklet on the protocol to be followed after matches.
Yeah.
And that was one of it. Okay. Invite your opponents, talk to them, invite the referee. And it's great, you know, Tygerberg is renowned for that hospitality.
Yeah. Marvin, you guys, I mean, I've seen you do it at Durbanville actually.
Yes.
Same kind of vibe.
No, definitely. I mean, it builds a nice relationship between the clubs and as well as the players as well. I mean, that's why you've always, a lot of guys, it doesn't just end after the game. I mean, their friendship lasts for a very, very long time. Yeah. And that comes from that after-match functions, which is very, very important.
Yeah. I mean, Harold, you guys are a little bit further out of the sort of, call it the catchment area. You know, there's a bietjie verder om te ry Weskus toe, maar daar's seker 'n paar spanne daarso saam met wie julle 'n goeie verhouding het.
JP, dis 'n instelling by ons, soos wat Herman gesê het. elke wedstrijd, na die wedstrijd, ontvang ons die bezoekende span.
Ja.
Ons deel met hulle een paar snacks en zo aan. En dat is definitief een instelling. Vooral omdat hulle een beetje verder reis als gewoonlijk. Maak ons doodzeker dat ons gasvrij teenoor hulle optreden. So dit is definitief een instelling.
So, folks, you might not have picked it up there, but JB van Ster was, of course, the captain of Tygerberg. Ronaldo Jones, the captain of NNK. And both teams, after the match, when I asked them, you know, could you point out a player that you thought was a standout in case you didn't pick it up in the audio? JB said that their 8th man who's down at the moment, he came down from Griquas, he reckons he needs a shot at Western Province. And Ronaldo said from the NNK side, said he can't pick any players out, everybody played as one team. And that I found interesting with H was that he didn't want to choose on one specific player, it was about the team playing as a unit.
Yeah, well, I think both of them, you know, they played as a unit. And
yeah.
If you just look, you know, if you were there, you could sense the urgency that they had. And I mean, NNK was early in the game, they were 10 points ahead. And Tygerberg, you know, struck back quickly and went ahead. And then it was a ding-dong battle until the last, very last minute.
Yeah, definitely from my point of view, from watching the game, I thought that, you know, even though it was tough up front, certainly it looked like there was a lot of running rugby in the game. And Marvin, from a player's perspective now, it seemed to me during the game, between NNK and Tygerberg, it was almost as if each team lifted their spirit whenever they needed. And then if things went bad for them, then they would lift it again. And every time they lifted their spirit, they actually managed to score. Is that a sort of like a mental thing with the team? Would you find it like there comes a time in the game when you know you're about to lose and the coach is shouting from the side of the field, come on, it's now time to turn it on?
No, definitely. You know, a lot of the times a call would go through.
Yeah.
That, you know, that then everybody knows that this call means I've got to lift myself. We're either behind or our time's running out. And sometimes, you know, just the environment, the surroundings of the crowd alone can even pick up your spirits, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, the atmosphere at Tygerberg alone, with that crowd, it should definitely pick you up.
Well, I must say, I was extremely impressed with Tygerberg. I think that their entertainment and event coordination is actually spectacular. At one stage, I thought I was at a nightclub. When I walked further down the side of the field, I thought they'd actually managed to get smoke machines onto the field. And not many clubs go to the effort of actually putting on such, you know, glitz and glamour. Did get a little bit hazy in front of me in the one corner there. Let's look at some of the other scores then, folks, in Super League B. Remember, we are live, so if you're on Twitter and on Facebook, we're looking to pick out some of your names. I know that we've had a couple of questions on Facebook and Twitter already, and I'll be looking forward to getting through to those in the next couple of minutes. Brackenfell 44 over Young People's, 27-28 is what Collegians went down to. Peniel Villages, Mr. H, and not so easy. I mean, and it was a home game for them at the Gat.
Yeah, I think...
and we had Clive
was probably crying in his hand. And,
yeah.
But if you just look at all the results, you will see that all those are 50, 40 plus scores in that section. And all of them very close, which, you know, made for good rugby over the weekend.
Let's quickly look at some of those other results then. Kales River going down to Hands on Hearts, 27-29. Primrose, again, unfortunately, just not getting over those hurdles. 30-35, and as I mentioned, again, was against Belleville. And as I mentioned, Tygerberg, 25-24, a 1-point win for them over NNK. We move now to the next league, and let's take a look at those results then in Premier League A. Rangers up against Kraaifontein. Rangers coming away with a 27-17 point win over Kraaifontein. Harold, a nice win for you guys over the weekend. 31-21, Hamlets over Elsie's.
Long overdue, I would say, JP. Definitely a very good game.
Yeah.
The guys were much better prepared for the game. We had a bit of a bad start. Lost 3 games out of 7, but I think we are back on track now. And I must say also, Rangers had a very poor start to the season, but they are really back at the old form. They were very good last year, and I think they are definitely back playing very good rugby. But I'm very pleased with the result against Elsie's River.
Yeah.
And the guys were disappointed at the aftermatch function, but left in very good spirit, I must admit. It's a long drive to Elsie's River, you know, when you get beaten 31-21.
Well, yes, it's a long drive back home, absolutely. Langa then 32-19. Let's look at the log sheet now in Premier League A and Premier League B. Langa 32-19 over Scottsdene. Franschhoek going down to Solarians, that very strong Solarians, 42 points to 10. And of course Laguna, a nice win for them, 17-12 over Silver Leaf. Macassar, a win for them, 27-12 over Milnerton, and Van der Stel going down to Strand United, 27-23. Let's move to the divisions then. We'll take a look at the results in Division 1 and Division 2 as we look at the log sheets now. Paarl Rangers going down to Young Stars, 23-18. Kylemore, a loss for them, 27-7. Against Hamadias. Strand going down to Wraithby Universals, and Northerns losing to Eerste River 20 points to 14. Blue Jets, nice win for them, and it looks like the wheels came off yet again. Whistling Wheels, well, not number 3, but with just 3 points. Temperance going down to Manenberg Rangers. Blue Stars 12-8 over Rocklands All Saints, 25-10 loss for them against Watsonia. And Strand Pioneers going down to Atlantis, 34-25. Atlantis, Harold, I mean, we've got you guys on the one side, Atlantis on the other side. Are we looking at a big derby match scenario there?
I think that's very unlikely in the near future because they play a division or two below us. But we always try to play friendly matches, pre-season friendly matches against each other because there's very good support from the community when the two teams or the two clubs play against each other. Atlanta is struggling a bit, but I think they will get there because more and more of the players are coming back to Atlantis now.
Yeah. But when those two teams ever do get together, I mean, we spoke to Francois Bontes from NNK over the weekend, said that Tygerberg and NNK hadn't played against each other, I think, for something like 5 years. Yeah. And then maybe a Marmara and Atlantis, a Hamlet scenario, if you guys get it together, is it tough?
It's exactly the same.
Yeah?
It's obviously a derby. So you can understand, you know, your lock position doesn't matter on the day because it's typical derby atmosphere. Yeah. So, but when we do play against each other, it's in very good spirit, and there's a very good relationship also between the two clubs.
Well, that's fantastic. Incidentally, folks, if you are out in the Atlantis area, 107.9 Atlantis FM, one of the community radio stations out there. Make sure that you tune in and listen to the guys on Saturdays. It's Leslie Moses with a sport. All right, big fan and a big supporter, of course, of Cape Town TV and Cape Rugby, and we'll be supporting them. And of course, to the guys at 786, also doing live radio broadcasts from time to time at the games. Well done to you guys. I think you're doing a fantastic job, Mr. H. I mean, just staying on the subject of media. I mean, we've got a couple of community stations now talking about club rugby. We've got Voice of the Cape doing actually live broadcasts, I think every second week, and now we've got community TV. There's a bit of a buzz here. When I got to Tygerberg, the people started shouting, Cape Town TV is here.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, we are doing something right, and if we can continue, where will we end?
Yeah. So, of course then, folks, I mean, now that you've heard there's media all over club rugby, get out there, get a sponsor, and you can tell those sponsors that Club Rugby and Rugby in Cape Town, schools and youth and high school, primary school, has now got a television station backing them. We don't need to be broadcasting this up in Joburg. We're in Cape Town, and we're loyal to our Cape Town folks. So make sure you keep supporting us. As I said earlier on, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Send us your messages. Looking forward to throwing it out there. Let's look at the results now in Division 3 and Division 4. Young Ideas, a massive victory for them. 77 points to 5 over Bishop Lavis. Violets 36-15 over Young Brothers. And Perseverance, of course, you'll know we had Perseverance in the studio not so long ago, going down to Richmond's Rangers, or at least beating Richmond Rangers, sorry, 27-7. In Division 4, Delft beating Thistle, and we'll have Anthony Meyer from Thistle up a little bit later. 24-7 win for Delft against Thistle. Mitchell's Plain going down to Titans, 40 points to 5, and Progress just losing by 1 point against Imikawi. So a couple of interesting results there. And Marvin, I've got to ask you, how does one go down 77 points to 5? That was, of course, Young Ideas beating Bishop Lavis.
You don't see those scores anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, previously, that it all depends on who wants it more. If you pitch up wanting to win that game, you're definitely going to win it. Maybe they just sat back and maybe thought, you know, it could be an easy win, but they had something different coming to them.
But you can also imagine, and Harold, let me throw this one at you, that when you're heading towards a score of 77-5, probably for the team that's playing in the 77 space now, when you're getting to like 25 points, 35 points, 45 points, there must be sort of a mental change of, well, when's it going to stop? I might as well just keep running this race.
Yeah. And it's difficult to keep doing that, to play at the same pace when you are that far ahead. But it's also really demoralizing for the team, you know, not scoring. And it's very difficult to motivate those players, whether it's halftime or throughout the game. It's really very difficult to motivate the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, let's quickly look at the log then in the Paarl region. In Paarl, Allendale, also another massive score here, 61-14 win for Lower Paarl over Allendale. And we're going to, incidentally, folks, we're going to have the folks from Allendale on the show at some other stage. Violets beating Standards 8 points to 0. Young Gardens going down to Peril United 38 points to 10. Vineyards 27-21 win for them over Albions, and Riverstones 29-27 win over Vintmill United. Mr. H, some interesting results there.
Yeah, I just want to make a correction. The chairman of Young Gardens phoned me just minutes before now and said, please, we've sent the wrong score in, it must be turned around.
So you're telling me that, and I wasn't out in Paarl over the weekend, so yes, we can't be everywhere all the time. Young Gardens beating Peril United 38 points to 10.
That's right.
All right, so if you're out in Paarl, there we are. Congratulations on your winner. But of course, the chairman of Young Gardens, that's where Peter de Villiers played, right?
That's right.
And there's, I think, a few folks out there. Andrew Koopman from the Son is out there. He's a keen supporter of the show. So, Andrew, if you're listening, we're looking forward to that editorial that you're putting about Cape in there. And of course, that chairman sent that message to you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Right, let's look at the logs then, folks. We'll look at Super League A logs quickly first, and it'll be interesting to see that Marty's still remains firmly on top of that, and UCT, after 9 games and 6 victories, are sitting there close behind on 29 points. Vix in 3rd on 27, followed by SK Warmers on 24, bringing up the bottom 5 then. It's Hamilton's, Falsbury, Durban, Villages, Belhar, and Helderberg. Mr. H, it seems to be the same scenario. The log in Super League A is not really moving a lot.
No, but Hamilton's, they are going to play 4 games in the next 4 weeks. If they win all their games with bonus points, they will go past Marty.
They'll go past Marty. Okay,
but
so
they have to face SK Warmers, Durbanville, Villages, and Belhar. And any of those can beat them on the day, but I think they've got their sights set on, you know, reaching and going to play in the club champions.
Marvin, I heard your name thrown in there, Durbanville. Hammies, you guys must be looking to stop them.
Definitely we are, as Mr. H has said, that winning all 4, next 4, then things change, definitely. Then the top half will definitely change. So it's important that you make sure that you take that 4 or you take that 5 points. Can't slip up now.
Definitely I think if this was a horse racing, you'd probably call that a quartet or something like that. A trifecta. But there would be 3, 4 in a row. 4 in a row is pretty tough. Let's look then at the logs in Super League B, folks. Tygerberg's firmly on top there on 30 points on top of Belleville. Of course, Belleville still have a game in hand. NNK, after that fantastic match against Tygerberg over the weekend, in 3rd place, followed by Brackenfell. Penil Villages is in 5th position on 21 points. Hands and Hearts, Collegians, Kales River, Primrose, and Young People bring up the bottom part of the log then. Let's look at Premier League A. We'll, of course, be moving straight through all of the logs now in rapid succession. We'll look at Premier League A. On the top of the log there, it's Goodwood, St. George's, Hamlets, and Kraaifontein. In Premier League B, Laguna, UWC, and Silurians. Of course, we're just playing a little bit of catch-up at the moment. We're flying through these log tables. We've got so much content still to catch up with. But yes, in Premier League B, it is Laguna, UWC, and Silurians. Strand United, Macassar, Van der Stel, Silverleaf, Milnerton, Franschhoek, and Silvertree are at the bottom. In Division 1, it's Rugby Universals, Eerste Rivier, and Young Stars, then followed by Northerns, Strand, and Hamatias. In Division 2, Rocklands, Watsonia, All Saints are the top 3. In Division 3, it's Violets and Young Gardens at the top 2, followed by Caledonian Roses. Of course, Caledonian Roses have played 6 and won 5. 22 points. There's an 8-point gap between them and the first placed Violets in Division 3. They're going to have a little bit of work to do if they want to get to the top there. Retreat has played 6 and have won 5. Certainly top of the log there and dominating Division 3 is Violets. In Division 4, Masiphumelele is sitting in top position. They've played 5 games and they've won 5 games. So fantastic results there for Masiphumelele. Mr. H, the log points in a situation like this when it starts to heading to the middle of the season, how important the bonus points? How important are these bonus points?
Bonus points are always important because as you go along, you might, lose one. But if they've played 5 games, they probably picked up bonus points, so they can afford to lose one, and it doesn't really change their points. Yeah. But yeah, they're quite strong.
Okay, so Masiphumelele have done particularly well there. They are in first position in Division 4. Peninsula Titans Thistle, and as I said earlier on, we'll be chatting to Thistle a little bit later in the show. Anthony Mayer, the chairman of Thistle, joins me a bit later. More than 120 years old this club is. We'll find out about Thistle after we look at the Paarl region logs, which of course is our final set of logs to look at. In the Paarl region, it is Vineyards, Lower Paarl. Violets is in 3rd place. This is of course the Paarl Violets. Riverstones and Simondium in 4th and 5th place, and Young Gardens sitting in 6th. Albion's, Vintmill United, Young Standards, Allendale bring up the rear. So top of the spot is Vineyards. Then it's Lower Paarl and Violets. Of course, Lower Paarl have still got 2 games in hand. So there's a strong possibility that Lower Paarl can still make that comeback. Remember, still coming up on the show during the course of this evening, and we'll be finishing it up at 10 o'clock. We'll be speaking to Adil Abbas. He is from MIT Rangers, formerly known as Manenberg Rangers. We'll find out about some of the amazing transformational stuff and they've been doing out at Manenberg and how they've been helping the kids and reigniting the game of rugby to help the community. More importantly, we'll find out how it is that if you're a club administrator, you could maybe do that on your side. Ons gaan ook met Anthony Meyer gesels. Hy is van Thistle, 'n bietjie later in die show, mense. En onthou nou, as jy op Facebook is en of jy op Twitter is, stuur vir ons nou jou vragies. Ek sien uit daarna om jou naam te lees. Ek sien daar's klaar 'n paar mense wat hierso hulle tweets en hulle Facebook chips ingestuur het. Ons kyk daarna. Moenie vergeet nie, ons gaan natuurlik nog steeds die Union op die plek sit. Elke week, en ons skaam nie daarvoor weg nie. Elke week vra ons vir die Union 'n paar vrae. Wat het hulle onlangs vir die clubs gedoen? As we have been promoting in the last couple of weeks, you'd know that we've got 2 primary sponsors on the show here. One is Evox Advanced Nutrition, which is of course the official supplier to Western Province Rugby and the Stormers. They make the protein drinks and the creatine, you would see them here. And of course the leisure hotels. Now we've been promoting those questions. All you need to do is send the word leisure to the number 32010 and you can put yourself in the mix to win some fantastic accommodation courtesy of Strand Towers, one of the hotels of the leisure group. This week's winner is Mary Peterson. Congratulations, Mary. You win yourself bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. But folks, if you want to win for yourself a opportunity to go and have a little weekend away, why don't you send the word leisure to 32010. All that gives you an opportunity to win some fantastic prizes. So, still coming up in the show, it's Q&A, it's Union on the Spot. We'll take a look at your tweets, we'll take a look at your Facebook chirps, and of course, we'll be speaking to the folks from MIT Rangers and Thistle. We're back in a mo. And we're back with you folks here on Cape Rugby, live on Cape Town TV. Fantastic to have you along. It is Q&A. We'll make it reasonably quick. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Looking for your comments, looking for your pictures, looking for your chirps, looking for your videos, whatever you got. First question comes in from Ricardo Christopher, looks like. I want to know, Mr. H, I'm going to address this one at you, and I can assure you the guys can be pretty serious when they ask these questions. They can, you know, they don't hold back. So the question here is, he wants to know why Western Province have weak referees, and I'm sure you could tell us if we have weak referees or what the process is there. It's clearly shown on Saturday the Temperance beat MIT Rangers. Okay, we might have a chance to speak to Adil Abbas about this a little bit later when we speak to the guys from MIT Rangers. But anyway, it seems that there's been a bit of confusion there. There was a video clip made and they would like to play the last minute of the game. He refers to himself as the legend, but he says that there was weak refereeing basically at the game, and that there was a bit of influence. Your opinion on the state of the referees in Western Province?
I always say to people that the referee will never willfully, you know, change the game. Or he doesn't even know who he's refereeing for. Don't cry at the end when you missed a kick. If Temperance can tell us how many kicks they missed to the poles and all that, and add up those points, then they would have seen that they could have won the game if they'd done their part. So don't blame the ref.
So, I know that we're going to get the referees on the show here shortly. We've made some arrangements for them to come here and show us some of the laws, and then we'll take a look at each other. Marvin, from your side of things, I mean, you guys are playing in Super League A, Super League B. The referees, are they consistent? Is the standard improving? Is it getting worse? How do you feel as a player?
The standards are definitely it's very equal. We haven't had any favoritism from ref just favoring one side or just the other side. Yeah. So it's quite constant, and I mean, refs try to play the game as they see it, but also be as fair as possible. So. Yeah. No complaints so far.
No complaints so far. All right. Let's move on to the next question here. Then this comes in off the website, actually. So we're going to the left field now. Left field is where we take some of the questions from the topics on the Western Province Club Rugby website. And this comes in from Battery. And he thinks this was posted before via Twitter, courtesy of Zahida. Can I ask Herman to inquire when the coaching course results? I suppose this is a bit unfair because I'm putting Herman on the spot now. Not all these questions were prepared for. Actually, in fact, that's how we like to keep it. We like to keep him on keep you on your toes, you Hermie. Eh? Yeah, okay, but let me ask you. I mean, because if you can't answer the question, at least you then have the question, and we've opened up this communication, which was not there in the past. And you'll be able to go back and give us some feedback next week. I think that's the beauty of this now, is that finally there's communication between the clubs, communication from the club to the union. I mean, Harold, would you agree with me?
100%, and I think it's a big improvement, you know, just to improve on the communication and to allow the clubs to put forward their concerns and at least to get feedback on those concerns. Yeah. There is definitely an improvement.
No, that's fantastic. So the question there is about the coaching course results for 2010. Level 2 course will be issued in the beginning of the year. Jeff Krause said it will be done by March, and we're now in June already. When the next show is aired, so basically he's asking about the results.
Well, he must ask Jeff Krause, but normally if it's level 2, it's IRB accredited stuff, which doesn't, the diplomas and the stuff. It goes through IRB and not necessarily just Western Province.
How do you ask Jeff Krause?
Phone him at the office.
Right, so it's as simple as that? Phone the union and ask for the results?
Yeah.
All right, well, there you have it then, Battery, courtesy of Zahida as well. We'll be looking for feedback there, and we'll get hold of them, and we'll certainly post some sort of response back to you to find out what happened there. All right, then we move to our fan pick of the week coming in on Facebook. We saw some fantastic pictures then this week, and this one comes from Carla Norkia. And I'm just going to have a look at the monitor here. Is that a Durban jersey? Marvin, you tell me.
No.
That doesn't look like a Durban jersey, but we've some very nice pictures that have come in there, courtesy of Carla. Right, let's turn to Union on the spot then. Mr. H, it's a simple question. What have you done for the clubs lately?
I thought I was on the spot all the time now.
Those are the Facebook questions.
Okay. by kind courtesy of the CEO, I gave 10 signed Stormers jerseys to Super League B for them to use the initiative, whatever they want to do with it. And then, you know, we've given a lot of other things away. Clubs must just understand that, you know, when I say we gave jerseys, I can't give 90 signed jerseys away. When I say we gave scrum machines, I can't give 90 scrum machines away. So we do it step by step, and we'll get to everybody in the end.
Right. So it takes a bit of time, but you are doing it. Of course, those jerseys themselves are quite valuable. I've seen them go on auction for from 5,000 all the way up to 35,000 rand for an auctioned jersey.
Those with no initiative can give it to the chairman and he can wear it.
Yes, I also have seen a few people wear a 35,000 rand jersey at Newlands. All right, folks, when we come back, we'll be speaking to Adela Bass from MIT Rangers, as well as Anthony Mayer from Thistle, who's going to join me. We'll be speaking to these two gentlemen about the history of Thistle and, of course, the development at MIT Rangers. But, of course, it is time for us to take a look at our Evox insert. Evox is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby. Back in a mo. Check this out. Hello everybody, we're here at Newlands, the home of the DHL Stormers, and with me is the fitness and conditioning coach for Western Province Rugby, Stefan de Tooy. Hello Steph.
Morning JP.
Here we go again, talking nutrition supplements.
That's right.
Evox is of course the official sports nutrition supplier to the Stormers. We've been looking after them for the last 7 years now. Steph, one of the things that we spoke about earlier on in our discussions on nutrition is recovery and energy.
Yeah.
I know you recently ran the 2 Oceans.
It was tough. It was tough.
It was tough, I'm sure, rather you than me. But carbo loading and energy for playing rugby is obviously very important.
Yeah, it's the fuel that drives your body.
Yeah.
It helps you recover afterwards as well. So if you deplete your stores, you've got to put back what you used. But it's the fuel that you need to play and to compete in an 80-minute match.
So I know that at the Stormers we've got our private concoction called gummy berry juice, which the guys know about. And
don't speak out.
It's a combination of Evox products. We're going to say exactly what that combination is. But obviously timing is important in terms of getting your energy levels right before a game and practices.
Yeah, it goes back to about 4 hours before the match for us.
Okay.
We have a good protein carb meal 4 hours before kickoff. Then 2 hours before kickoff, before we leave for the stadium, we have quite a high energy meal consisting of some flapjacks, some crumpets, muffins. The Oaks enjoy their muffins, especially the chocolate muffins. We allow them that because they put their bodies out on the field and they put themselves out there. And super carb with our other Evox mix is important 40 minutes before we start running.
So is that what's called carbo loading?
That's right. Yeah, but you should actually start carbo loading not only on the day of the match. You should go back days before that.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, just start on the day, obviously. But don't. The problem is that you can overdo it. You can take too much at one stage, and then your insulin levels go up. You'll go into a big spike. You'll go into a bit of a downer if that works out, and little at a time. That's why we do 4 hours, 2 hours, 40 minutes before, and then 1 or 2 sips just before kickoff, plus a little bit more half time. If you take too much at one time, it won't work for you.
So do you mix this like a cool drink?
Yeah, but cold water. It helps with the absorption rate in your body.
Yeah.
You can put some ice to it. We mix it for them in the change room. They know how much they need. That's the bonus of using Evox for years already, because we know what works.
Do you need pre-workout boosters for gym work or for matches? You know, you get boosters like we have, for example, our Evox Cytobox, which we don't have here today, folks, but Evox has got a product called Cytobox, which you use pre-training. Do you guys use that for training purposes before?
Yeah, we players love Cytobox. Yeah. It's one of those things that are legal, which is great. Yeah. We use it. It comes in a tub, exactly the same as another label. It's got a great taste.
So there's no risk of players testing positive?
Look, we've probably gone through about 300 to 400 tubs of those over the last 2 years.
And safe as houses.
Safe as houses.
Fantastic.
No problem.
Let's look at the glutamine now. Glutamine is something people talk about in a huge abundance.
Yeah.
Glutamine important for you guys?
For recovery, yeah. Muscle stiffness, soreness, players take it.
Yeah.
They take it home with them, they put it in their talk bag, they keep it there, they mix it with their protein because the taste it can be quite bitter. Yeah. But you mix it with your other supplements. You consume it like you would the rest, and the next day you feel great.
So there you have it, folks. That's our chat today then. Glutamine, very important for recovery. This actually is also very good for your immune system. You can never have enough glutamine. I drink it sometimes in water, plain and simple. I don't know, but
only come as stuff as you, JP.
And of course we spoke about the Super Carbo. Now this is a plain, tastes like cool drink next. Throw it in cold water, right?
It's got a great taste. It's not too sweet, because sometimes when it's too sweet, it builds up a bit of phlegm. You feel as if you're overdoing it, but it's got a great taste. It's actually quite neutral.
And the last question actually I wanted to ask you is, do you take it during the game?
We do. Okay. Some players want us to carry it on the field for them. You'll see we've got those carry bags with us. Yeah. I'd say it's a 50-50 call. The guys that really want to use it, put it in their lockers. Yeah. When they come in for half time, they have 1 or 2, 3, 5, depending on how much they need sips, and then they come out again.
But you can't go through 80 minutes of a game without some sort of dextrose or carbohydrate intake.
Never.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Very important then. If you're a club rugby player or school rugby player, you've got to keep those energy levels up and make sure that you carry it all the way through to the last minute of the game. Stefan de Tooy, the head coach or fitness and conditioning coach at the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby. Thanks for joining me again.
Thanks, JP. Pleasure.
There we go, folks. Until next time, we'll chat to you soon. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it, folks. Of course, Stefan de Tooy, the conditioning coach of the Vodacoms, the DHL Stormers at Newlands there. Remember, as a club rugby player or a youth player, you are entitled to Evox products as part of the Western Province Rugby sponsorship. So go to the website and make an application there on www.wpclubrugby.co.za. There's an application form right there. Weekly, we do give you an opportunity to win yourself a 500 Rand product hamper courtesy of Evox Advanced Nutrition. And this week's winner was Charlene Dachuner. Congratulations, Charlene. You've won for yourself 500 Rands worth of Evox products. I'm sure you're a big fan. And of course, folks, if you want to win for yourself 500 Rands worth of Evox products, just SMS the name of the official supplier to the number 32010 and followed by your name. So tell us who is the official supplier, and you might put yourself in line for a little victory there then. Just to quickly then to go to some of the tweets that have come in live. So as I said, this is a live show. Zahida, nice tweet coming in there from Zahida saying thanks for the question to Mr. H. So Mr. H, so people are tweeting you here. And of course a nice little mention there for Radio 786, who are already asking if they were mentioned. So nice to see that they are sending us some tweets here. And then there were some further questions there, but we're not going to get back into the questions now. And of course, Erwil Adonis says, please do not forget to remind Manenberg Rangers that there's a war waiting for them at Rocklands in Mitchell's Plain. Adil, it's a derby match for you guys then this weekend, I take it.
No, it's not this week. I think it's in next second round.
Second round, okay. Yes. So, Erwil, if I see you posted this about an hour ago on Facebook, all right, so you're going to have a little bit of patience before you launch that war. All right, but Adil, you know, let's have a chat. We have spoken to you a few times now. Former Manenberg Rangers, you're now known as MIT Rangers. And folks, you can see this. This is the jersey here. Nice to. We'll just pop it over there. Actual fact. You know, as I say, it is live TV. What was before this?
It was the normal green sweater. It was an old green sweater.
Why did you change?
We changed because of the advantages we got from the company. Mm. You know, it was like, first it was woman, like, how can I say, well, Manenberg, you know, people look at you different from Manenberg. But now at MIT, people look at you much different, you know. It's like MIT's here now, you know. The boys are proud to have the sweaters on, the tracksuits on, you know, MIT is here.
But you haven't just changed the sweater though, you've done a few other things. And I actually want you to tell me some of these things that you've done, some of the practical things that people can relate to. Because I think that there's a lot of clubs that can learn from what you guys have done.
Yeah. The first thing obviously is we moved to Primrose Park, which is more to the heart of Manenberg. So obviously there's more kids coming in and in every week, you know. And then also it was when the MIT was involved with us, we went away for, how can I say, like for workshops, leadership workshops, coaching and all that things, you know. So it was a benefit to our boys, especially in Manenberg where we have like the drugs and the alcohol that's involved, you know. So we take the kids away from it, we concentrate on our youth. We also have the feeding scheme now. We have Saturday mornings where we feed the rugby boys, you know, like sandwiches or hot dogs and juice, whatever, coffee. So I can say we're doing well. So what I want to say to the other clubs is they should go out to the businesses, go knock door to door. The businesses doesn't know what you need. Yeah. All clubs are struggling, but they're afraid to go ask. So once they go ask,
it's interesting that you say that, because it seems to me that I mean, I've experienced this now quite, and Mr. H, you might also want to jump in here, and Anthony yourself as well. And folks, before I go ahead, of course, it is Anthony Meyer from Thistles, in case you spotted him on the camera there. But I've got to ask this question, and it's so important, of course, for clubs to learn a little bit about how to run themselves as a business. Yes. Over the last 10 years of myself being involved with the clubs, all I've heard clubs say is give, 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 give.
Give, yeah.
Now, you've taken a different approach. Yes. You've actually gone to the business to find out what it is that they want.
Yes. So it's more, can I say, we're running the club like a business, as you say. Yeah. Like we started the junior executive now, and also like the youth, I'll say the upper youth, the 19-year-old, 20-year-olds. We're getting them into coaching, to leadership, you know, tomorrow they're the leadership, they must take leadership of our boys, you know.
Is there any reason why any club in the union can't do the same?
I don't think so. There's lots of businesses, there's lots of opportunities for the boys, you know.
There's always a local cafe or a local supermarket or a local bank or a local butcher that you can build a relationship with.
Yes, anything helps, definitely.
Right, and that is, once you get the ball, Harold, I mean, Anthony, would you agree with me? You just need to get the ball started, eh?
That's definitely, we need to get the ball rolling, and as soon as that ball is rolling, other people comes on board.
Yes.
So that is very important to get the first one going, and from there, you will see everything will fall into place.
Adil, let's go back to you in Manenberg Rangers in the scenario there. I mean, you've got MIT now. MIT Technologies. Does the community, do the family, the friends, and let me show you that jersey again, folks, and you're going to see this jersey out there. You're going to see a lot of talent coming from this club, because now they've got the support of a company in the community. So that's when this talent really starts to shine, and of course we'll get that talent here on Cape Town TV. Does the community give back to the business?
Definitely. Like like I said, when the business came in, obviously the MIT, they offered our kids jobs, like providing them jobs, like the under-19 squad that just got out of school, you know. You offer them training to go work and all that. And obviously we give back to him by, the most important thing is we create players coming through the province ranks, like Yaya Hudsenberg, and we got 2 boys now, one is under 18 and 2 under 13s that made the province now. Yeah. You know.
No, well, that's fantastic. Listen, I think you guys are doing an amazing job. But let's turn our attention now from the very young to the very old. Anthony, Thistles, you guys are more than 120 years old.
Yeah, definitely 120 years. I couldn't believe this year when I realized 2011. Yeah. And here we are 120 years old. It was just the other day when we celebrated our centenary.
Yeah, let me have a look at some of those pictures. You brought some of the pictures with you. You can,
this is
slide them over to me.
Proud moments.
Yeah. So this... All right, so here's
one of our proud moments in our history.
Every time we do the history feature, the first thing every guy from the club says is, well, jy weet, terug in daai het ek baie meer hare gehad. Every single time. Mr. H's club grandfather, of course, founded St. George's. We can never go through a show without being reminded of that. But folks, you can have a little look here. Of course, you say this was at your centenary.
No, that was before, just after the centenary when you won the league, yeah.
And you had a few people.
I'm the second one
come back there. That's fantastic stuff. And then that's one of the booklets that you had from before.
Yeah, that was our 90th centenary.
Yeah. So, folks, so this was okay. So, the 90th centenary?
90th anniversary.
90th anniversary. There you can see the little booklet, folks. But let's just talk a little bit about the history of Thistle. I think, so people need to you know, people need to understand that there's some serious history in Thistle. And of course, so many of the clubs, and Anthony, you've told me some of the stuff, you know, in private, is that your club, like many other clubs, went through, probably 90% of the clubs that we have in Cape Town went through those terrible atrocities during those terrible times and suffered under the Group Areas Act. And Thistle, you were originally in Rugby.
Yes, the club originated there in Rugby, actually in a bar.
Okay,
so
as most clubs do.
Yes, there was a lot of fishermen that wanted to play rugby, and that's where we got our name from. In the bar's name was Thistle Rugby Club, Thistle Rugby Bar, Thistle Bar, and then from there we worked on and they started playing rugby as fishermen. From there they moved to Mowbray. From Mowbray we moved to Athlone, and now finally we settled in Bonteheuwel, and I think the club will stay there for now for a long time.
En daar's 'n paar Bonteheuwel briefkeise wat daar rondvloot.
Oeh, jene meneer. Sal ek daarvan praat nou nie?
Nee. Kom maar, ek het daai taal op 'n ander plek geleer. Right, folks, this is of course Anthony. Listen to you and the guys at Thistle's there, and we're not gonna forget about the history of any of the clubs. You guys keep doing up the great job there. You've been around for a long time, and it's you know, you've been around to show now some of the new guys how to do
Definitely.
it. You know, now Dylan, on your side, from the guys at MIT Rangers, you know, best of luck and keep up the good work, and we'll continue to profile the good work that you guys do.
Maybe I should invite you on a Saturday morning. Stand in the corner, you know, with the soup and the sandwiches for the boys, the excitement, with the missy and the gloves. You should come join us one Saturday.
If I can get the missy to come with me, I'll be happy. But I'm looking forward to that, and you're going to see me come with my video camera. All right, let's get Harold and Marvin over here. Harold, where's Harold and Marvin? We're going to ask you guys to just jump in here with us. Of course, we'll be back any second now, and we're going to take a look at this coming week's fixtures. Back in a mo. Right, folks, it's time for us to wrap it up. We're live on Cape Town TV. Nice to have you back. Remember, we are live every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Of course, repeats on Thursday at 3 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Mr. H, let's look at some of the fixtures. Villages up against Hamilton. That must be the pick of the week.
And the oldest fixture in the country.
The oldest fixture in the country.
They've played for 135 years. They played against one another.
135 years. I mean, that's some serious rugby going on there. Hands and Hearts are up against Tygerberg over the weekend at Aikendal. NNK take on a Belleville. Now, that's going to be a pretty tough one. Marvin, how do you see that one going?
I'm looking at NNK to pull this one through.
Yeah.
After the weekend's game, definitely NNK.
Yeah, of course, they want to make a little bit of a statement, having gone down by just one point to Tygerberg over the weekend. That was a little bit rough. In Premier League A, it's a Goodwood up against Lunga. That is one of our top picks. Kraaifontein take on Elsies, and another top pick, St. George's, invented by Mr. H's grandfather, up against the Rangers. Harold, how do you see that one going?
Rangers, very good form at the moment. St. George's, top of the second on the log. Fantastic game to watch on Saturday.
Yeah, and of course, you were talking about that earlier on in the show about Rangers, just what a big challenge they are, and of course, the Hamlets take on Paarl over the weekend.
That's going to be an exciting fixture in itself.
It's going to be an exciting fixture. In Premier League B, the pick of the weekend must be Solarians up against Macassar. Of course, these picks are courtesy of our statistician at the Union, Faisal Felton. He does our magic picks. In Division 3, it's Caledonian Roses up against Young Ideas. Thistle take on Imikawi. Those are the picks in Division 3 and Division 4. In the Paarl region, it's Albions against Windmill, Paddle United against Young Standards. The pick there that you want to keep an eye out for is Vineyards up against Lower Paarl. Don't forget, folks, you can follow us on www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Harold, thank you for joining us. Best of luck to the boys up in Mamre.
Thank you, JP. Nice being here.
And you guys have Durban before. Thanks, Marvin.
Thank you very much, JP.
Mr. H, we'll see you again as we always do every Wednesday.
Pleasure, man.
That's a wrap, folks. Don't forget, we are also on Twitter at Cape Rugby TV. See you next week. Same time, same place. And don't forget, if you want to make contact with us, the easiest way to do it is to just go on Facebook and inbox us, okay? So you just go to inbox us on Facebook. And don't forget that we are looking for your content. So just let me, before we wrap up the show, let me explain to you that we desperately want your content. That video that you saw earlier on of the match between Tygerberg and NNK, how did I do it? I took my little handheld video camera, I went down to Tygerberg, I went and stood on the side of the field, and I did the filming. It was as easy as that. And today you can actually upload those little videos onto YouTube. We at Cape Town TV will grab those little videos off YouTube and upload it onto the channel. We're absolutely looking forward to your footage. Mense, as julle daar buite is, maak asseblief seker dat julle vir ons prentjies stuur, dat julle vir ons video stuur. Ons soek dit op die channel. Ons gaan dit uitsend. So maak seker dat julle dit vir ons doen. Until next week, we are live on Cape Town TV. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place at 9 o'clock. And don't forget the repeats on Thursday at 3 and 11. And tell your friends we're also uploading it onto the Club Rugby website. Have a fantastic evening. See you next week. Bye-bye.